Hi guys, welcome back to another vlog. I hope you enjoyed that short edit there of the Honda NSX in Dubai. This week we decided to enter the ILB edit competition. That edit there actually got us into, I think, the top 10 of over 200 entries, which is pretty cool. We got a lot of messages from you guys asking us how we graded the footage, how we got the look that we did. A few other messages asking kind of why I went for that vibe, etc. So we thought we'd do a short vlog just giving you guys a little bit of detail on how we got the look that we got, and why we went for that type of style. Obviously this was an edit competition, so we were never going to win with that style of edit. There was no motion graphics, there was no titles, it was pretty clean, pretty simple. Obviously that's the style that I like to edit in. You might have seen it in the past, keep it clean videos. We're not ones for going sort of OTT or over the top. We keep it pretty clean, pretty simple. Focus on vibe, song choice, and good colour grading basically. So I thought we'd jump into the edit, sort of show you guys how we got what we got, and take it from there. Let's jump on in. Okay, so we're over in Final Cut. We prefer to use this over Premiere Pro. Just think it handles the 4K footage a little bit better than Premiere, less crashes, a bit easier to work with. So anyway, obviously the ILB guys provided all the footage here from the A7S and the FS7, both 4K cameras obviously, and shooting in S-Log, in this instance S-Log 2. This footage is native to us, it's what we shoot in, so we're used to using it, which is helpful. What I do in the first instance is I find an image, a frame, sorry, that I like. This is one of my favourite shots, hence why I sort of used it in the drop in this film. And then what I do is use this reference file to get the look, and then I can start applying it to some of the other shots. So first things first is you hit Command 7. That'll bring up what is called the Rec 709 gamma curve. Basically what this is showing is your shadows, your highlights and your midtones on a graph. You don't really understand what this means, but it comes in handy when you're trying to do corrections like this. We use Color Finale Pro, so just drag that over. First thing that we would normally do is we might play with the white balance here to either like cool it down or warm it up if we haven't quite got the white balance right in camera. Obviously, again, ILB know what they're doing, and they've provided footage here which is well exposed and well balanced in terms of white balance. So in this instance I just went straight into the edit layers, and then I use two things. I use color wheels and I use color curves. I normally always start in the wheels. Basically what this is you've got your shadows, your midtones and your highlights in these wheels, and then what you want to do is move these sliders to get this Rec 709 gamma curve where you want to be. So normally I start with the shadows here, and then what you want to do is you want to pull these down. Obviously you can go way over the top here like that, which just looks rotten. Seen that in a few of the submissions and it just doesn't look great. Obviously things that are black in real life need to be black in post, in camera. So what you're trying to do here is get your shadows looking nice and black. The reason that we have this gamma map up is you don't want to clip anything basically in your shadows past 0. It's normally a good guideline to kind of get in your shadows where you need to be. So obviously you can see they're way too high, they're way too low. But if you kind of get it just hovering just above 0 and no more, you're not getting any clipping and you're starting to get those shadows round about where you want to be. So I think something around about there looks quite good for that shot. And then what I normally do is I jump straight over to the highlights. This is kind of the opposite. So obviously you don't want to clip your highlights either. So you want them to be up around about the 100 mark up here. So come over to this slider, and obviously I'll drag these up to exaggerate. You can now see obviously the curve is stretching. So you can see up here we're getting peaking in some of the highlights. Also this is probably the lights over here, so not overly worried about that. The graph's still sitting fairly well balanced, but anyway, that's too much in the highlights as you can tell. So yeah, you want to get your highlights sort of dragged down. Some of it looks about right. So I think a bit there looks good. And then lastly is your midtones, which is this slider here. This one, to be honest, I actually think is sort of personal preference. I tend to always bring mine down a little bit depending on the footage. So yeah, you want to get them looking right. I always just go go by eye on this. So yeah, somewhere around about there looks good. Then you can also jump back into your shadows or your highlights if you feel like you need any tweaks. So if you want to bring your blacks down a little bit more, like that, and then you maybe want to put your midtones back up or back down just to get it sort of looking right. But yeah, to me that's looking pretty good. And then what I do is I jump into curves, and then in here, what I do is just a nice simple S curve. I'm not trying to go over the top here. I like things nice and simple and clean. I just want this to look natural. So yeah, grab your shadows here and then just bring them down slightly. Again, less is more in my opinion, so don't go too wild. And then come up here, put another pointer on, and then drag those highlights back up, just so you get that nice sort of S curve. So yeah, something around about there. It looks quite good. Obviously, you always want to keep referencing back to where you sort of came from, so just pop your effects off and you can see there kind of the washed out look that was coming from the S-Log footage, which is to be expected. And then where we're at now, so it's starting to look pretty decent. And then the other thing that you can do is obviously go back to your wheels. S-Log footage is fairly desaturated, so you've got your saturation bar here, so you can pull this up, which will start to bring out the colours in the footage. So you can see now the car obviously is looking a lot redder, you're getting better colours in your signs. But in this instance, I didn't actually use the saturation slider. I left that at 1. You can see the difference there. And what I actually did for this video is I applied a LUT. These are really helpful in getting you quick results basically. So what I've used is a red correction LUT. This is actually from Anthony Purcell, known as Halcyon from New York. He's a great videographer. I'm sure you guys, if you're watching this, you've probably heard of him. We'll link him below in the description. You can go buy that LUT pack. Super helpful, all geared around automotive scenarios. So yeah, I applied the red correction. So when you insert that, boom, you can see the difference there. So now we're starting to really see the red pop in the car. Got some filters down here you can play with, so you can sort of drop the intensity of that. Sometimes I find with LUTs they come in and they're way too over the top. So yeah, just sort of get it looking right to the eye. That's what we tend to go for. Also, this car is nice and red. In this instance, I actually went for 95%, which is quite strong for me, but it just looked good. Just suited the car, nice bold colours. And then, yeah, that is pretty much it graded to how we want it to look. So yeah, if you flick back to your effects, turn them off, you can see what it looked like. Turn them back on, huge difference. Obviously, once you've applied your LUT, you can always jump back into your layers, go to your wheels. If you think the shadows have kind of dropped too much, you can just bring them back up if you want to bring it up, or draw them back down again. But no, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks pretty good. And now I've got the reference image looking right. What you can do is you just hit Command C, pull over to your next clip. Again, look, you can see how washed out that looks. Then if you guys actually hit Shift Command V, you get this nice little attributes box coming up. You can bring over tons of stuff here. Obviously, we're only interested in the effects in Color Finale Pro, and don't need anything else. And then yeah, just hit paste, and that'll bring everything over. So yeah, already you can see that's pretty much looking on the money. We've got nice reds, highlights are looking good, blacks are looking good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. But obviously, you guys can just jump back into your layers, into your color wheels, and you need to make tweaks. Obviously, the car hasn't moved position here, the lighting hasn't changed, so it's virtually perfect. If anything, I'm just going to draw those shadows just in a little bit more, because I think that looks good and that looks about right. What I'll do is I'll actually paste this onto another clip, something like a detail shot, like this wheel for example, just to show you guys what happens if you bring something over. So yeah, Command Alt V again, slam it on here. I'm expecting this to be pretty dark. Yeah, there we go. So horrible. So yeah, it's just to give you a good example of when you're moving things across different footage. So yeah, you can see in here, like everything's clipping down the shadows. So just jump back in here and just pull those shadows back up to get it away from clipping. So yeah, you can see there, far too much. Just get that down, looking about right. And then yeah, this one maybe just needs a little bit of the mid-tones, bringing it back up. And then a little touch maybe on the highlights, because we're getting a little bit of clipping up at the top end. I think these shadows should need to come up just a touch. Yeah, there we go. That's looking pretty good now. Let's just check. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So yeah, when you bring it into like a detailed clip like this, you might have to do a little bit more work just because we've not got the same exposure going on as we do in a shot like this. So I hope you guys found that helpful. A little bit of insight into how I graded the shots for the competition. Like I said, I just kept things simple, get the shadows right, get the highlights right, play those mid-tones, and you'll be on to a winner. Please let us know in the comments if you've got any questions, if you'd like to see more videos like this. Please like our video and hit that subscribe button if you want to see any more content. Let's play it one more time.